Dr. Judy here, Dr. Judy WTF, and this is a college show, and I love talking to people live. I'll take chat room questions, but I would much rather hear from you and have a conversation, which is the best way to really um, get into something that's of value. So today, we're going to dive into challenges and what stands between you and your vision and goals, and what challenges are ahead of you, and meeting them on head on, and not letting them detract you from where you want to go. So let me read a little bit from the Mind Map Your Future, if you could put it up there. Let us dissect that. And Mind Map Your Future is for those who have healed your childhood wounds for the most part and have done Be the Cause Mind Map process. And Mind Map Your Future is really the next step after you are more or less complete with childhood wounds and you feel that you've got energy and vision. Then we forge ahead to the future. Mind map your future and be the cause of a better outcome for your life. So let's get into the challenges. So let me read a little bit from the panel. And again, if you do want to do a private Mind Map Your Future process, you can certainly call the Psychological Healing Center or contact us, and I could put you in charge with one of our coaches, and you can go for the ride. I encourage you to go for the ride. So, panel 5, challenges. Anticipate potential obstacles and challenges. That's just natural. Things don't always go smoothly. Recognize that these challenges allows you to prepare and develop strategies to overcome them. This foresight enables you to respond effectively. So let's go through the mind map and then look at what kind of potential obstacles can come in your way. So let's start from the beginning. So we have, if you don't mind putting it up there, then we can start from the beginning and get to where we are right now. So that is a metaphor for challenges. Look at that high mountain peak, and climbing the pathway up is the evolution of your process. And then all of the obstacles are the elevation of the road, for example, and the weather conditions and the terrain and anybody that might block your path and anything that might come in your way. So when you embark on something, you are bound to have challenges. It doesn't just come naturally to go from your vision and end up with no challenges and get to your solution. It's never happened for me. So um, if there's anybody that wants to jump online and jump on the call, on a call, that's 323-524-2599, and give me your vision, your uh, your your process that you want to embark on, and then we can take a look at the challenges ahead of you. So one of the things that I want to say about challenges is that you don't know what they're going to be until you face them. Sometimes you do know, like for example, you may know that you have financial challenges because your project requires funding. Sometimes you do know that you have challenges ahead of you because your project requires that you get some education. Sometimes you know that you have specific challenges ahead of you because your partner is not participating with you the way you want. Sometimes you have challenges because you are the sole proprietor, the sole visionary, and it's difficult to do everything. So let's take a look at challenges. And of course, I'm generalizing because I have no idea what your vision is and what your goals are and what it is that you're up to. But I'm sure that some of you out there are up to something and that you want to move past all of the obstacles, and including the psychological ones, which we did a lot of in the first mind map, 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏 mind map, the 9-panel one. And let's take a look at what challenges face us. Let's kind of divide it into different challenges. Okay, so let's talk about psychological challenges. So that's the easiest for me because I'm a psychologist. So psychological challenges may involve um, tripping on negative core beliefs that stand in your way and have you believe that you're not good enough, that you are not skillful enough, that you're too stupid, that you're too lazy, that you are never going to uh, please other people, and that you're never going to accomplish anything because you're a loser. And this straight up comes from the blueprint of the past. And if there are major remnants of this, then you need to do mind map one, the first mind map. And if you feel that you've worked through some of them and maybe have a better handle on it, then go ahead and meet these challenges, because you know that what's lurking behind these negative core beliefs are lies. And like I like to say, identify the lies and not with them. So one of the challenges is psychologically to remind yourself to identify the lies and not with them, because they will quickly eclipse your pathway to success, and it will quickly put a roadblock up against your pathway up the climb to success. So another psychological challenge might just be straight up your motivation. You might find that your motivation waxes and wanes. One day you're really motivated, the next day you're not. And this is just the nature of who we are. We have energy during certain parts of the day and maybe even certain parts of the week. So one thing we could do is take advantage of the times of day where we feel most energetic and get most of our work done then. And also, what I described last time is do not wait until these successes and strengths come to you. You have to do it anyway. So challenges are those steps up that mountain, and you may not feel like it, and you may even not know what's coming up behind you or in front of you. All you know is that you have a vision, you have a goal, you have a reason to be doing this, and that in and of itself is the incentive to keep going along this pathway. So now there are other challenges. There are physical challenges, and let's talk about that. Life requires strength. Life requires that we keep healthy, mind, body, soul. It requires that we have a healthy body so that we can actually physically climb up the mountain and do the work that's physically necessary. Some of you may have goals that are more physical and require you to move more. Maybe you want to start your own health club, or you want to be a Pilates instructor. So some of your goals may be physical, and for that to happen, you have to be physically prepared. So one of your challenges is to get in shape, to carve out your sleep so that you sleep enough, to plan your meals so that you're getting really healthy, organic, top-notch food supply as you can, and really mind your health by making sure that you are in the hands of the right professionals, and they are monitoring your heart, your blood pressure, your all your vitals, your circulation, your liver functioning, your kidney functioning. So challenges are going to take a hit on your body. There's no question about it. So you want to be in top-notch shape to meet these challenges. So other physical challenges might simply include a timeline. So maybe you have to finish something in a certain amount of time. So physically you have to get going, and you've got to get organized, and you've got to get everything in order, sort of like taking a trip. You know, you've got to get the luggage packed, and you've got to buy your airplane tickets, and you've got to make sure that you get to the airport on time, and you have to make sure that um, you've got everything with you, your passport, ticket, and extra credit card, cash, whatever you're doing. So you've got to be prepared physically for these things. Are there any chat room questions or anybody want to call in?
Nobody's called in yet. We'd love to hear from you. People are starting to make comments, but no questions as of yet.
Okay,
So
so
please ask
remember,
a question, but Dr. Judy would love to hear your voice.
I do. I do like that better. You know that, Tony.
I know it.
And you have been my extra special volunteer in this process. And maybe you can just, if you don't mind, sharing some of the challenges that you're up against, whether it's time constraints or money, or that you need to get other people on your team, or what are some of the challenges that you're facing and how are you handling them?
Actually, I am going through something. So I recently took over. I think I told you, as executor of my dad's will and power of attorney, and so I end up paying my father's property, the lien off from when my mother was in the nursing home, because she had to go on. They put her on Medicaid. Is it Medicaid? Medicaid, and they put a lien against your home, even though she was a veteran. But so the house is in my name, so I'm prepping it to sell. And
Okay.
the challenges that I'm having is because I live in California and it's in Kansas, and I'm not getting the family support because they're mad at me because I'm the one getting the property and selling the property. So
Yes.
my challenge is getting family support from afar and trying to find somebody that can help me without me having to go there and take care of it myself.
Okay, and are they going to get any of the proceeds?
No, I mean I pay them. I told them I would pay them for their time, of course, but they both have received quite a bit of money already because
Hmm.
one stole from my father,
Oh,
and the other
okay.
one
So
was
that's
abusive to my
how
father.
that person received the money, right?
Yeah. So, and then the other one took a bunch of property out when my dad went into without permission. So, I mean, they've already kind of been compensated. Um, so I try not to. One, my brother, I don't really have any contact with, but the other one, it's just trying to find someone to help me from afar. And I think
Okay.
that's my challenge right now. So,
So the first thought that came to mind is that you need to stay in power and control. And even though I often talk about power and control as uh, an antithesis to love and intimacy, there is no love and intimacy here. And so what you're left with is power and control. And so I want to make you aware of the fact that if your siblings dug into their account and siphoned off their property or money, that is um, elder fiscal abuse. Do
no,
you know
it's
that?
my sister is actually being investigated and possibly could go to jail. So, yes.
Okay. Okay. So if you can find your legal PowerPoints
Mm-hmm.
and you have proof that they've actually siphoned uh, money out of the accounts, then you're in better shape because you could simply say, look, here's the deal. Either you give back this cash or let me do my thing, or I'm going to start legal proceedings against you because, after all, I am the executor of the state, and what you did to dad or mom and dad is unconscionable, not only unconscionable, but illegal and unethical.
In fact, it wasn't me that turned her in; it was the bank that turned her
Okay.
in. And so, yeah, she's already been approached by the Kansas Bureau of Investigation, so they've already started the process. So, yeah,
Okay. And does that help your process?
it does in a lot, but it's
A
still,
lot?
yeah, I mean a lot, um, but still, it puts. She was the sibling I was the closest to,
Mm.
so it kind of put a damper on what relationships I did have with my family because my mom's gone, who I was the closest to. Dad, we we're okay. We never had a huge close relationship, but enough. And then of course my sister, and then this found out she was taking money to go gambling, unfortunately. So
Mm.
my brother was physically or more emotionally abusive to my father. So
Mm.
um,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah. So there's not much of a relationship there. That's one reason I'm trying to sell the property to just close that chapter.
I think you're right. You've got to unencumber yourself from that entire situation. And isn't it interesting how money always creates not always, but oftentimes creates family disconnect. It's not uncommon
Yeah,
that these things happen.
yeah.
Um, okay, do you have an attorney?
I do. I do have an attorney. That's already been taking care of all the, making sure I'm protected for,
Mm-hmm.
the property and everything. It's not, like I said, it's Kansas, so it's not like like a California property, but still, it's a home and some land, and
Mm-hmm.
so. But yeah, I'm just ready to close that chapter. But it's the trouble I'm having is getting everything prepped from here to sell it to the people that's made an offer. So I've had an offer made, which is great, but there was a water leak, and I got to try to find somebody to fix it, and finding somebody to fix it in this hometown is like 200 people, and it's really
Oh my
difficult
God.
to. Yeah, it's just trying to, the old saying, needle in a haystack of trying to get things done. So
Okay. Okay, and would they be able to take the property with the water leak with the understanding that you can reimburse them or you take a little
hoping,
off selling price for the water leak?
I'm hoping. I do have somebody that's my nephew's uncle is going to take a look at it. So I'm hoping that he can fix it. But if not, I'm probably going to, because the contingency was if there's any water issues or gas issues. The gas was fine. Now the water, like I said, because it was like 20 below zero this winter. Um,
Oh,
yeah. So there was some water that froze. So yeah, like I said, it's been weighing on my mind, and there's other things I'm trying to work on too. But this has been just like a chapter I'm way past and ready to close.
so I know you already are doing this, but I do suggest that when things get that toxic, that you get a third party intervener, a lawyer, a
Hmm.
mediator, somebody. And I don't think you should be talking to your siblings at this point because it doesn't sound like there's much of a conversation there. It sounds like if you do enter into conversation, they might be defensive. Is that accurate?
My brother has told my sister that if the next time I come back, he was going to gut me. So um, yeah,
Hmm.
I don't feel safe going back there because my brother is a little nutty, a little crazy. So I definitely don't feel safe. But I'm going to have to go back to clean out everything. But I'll probably approach the authorities and let them know.
I think that's a great idea. I think you should um, go in there. Is there any gun control laws there?
No, no. Everybody owns guns there. So
I
yeah,
figured. So I would have a sheriff accompany you, a bodyguard, or
right.
somebody that you think could be a protector of you, because there's no point in having you expose yourself to danger. And he's already made the threat. So your presence is clearly a an activator, okay? So
Oh, for
your
sure.
challenge is to be as non-present as possible and let third-party intervention take place.
Yeah, yeah. My brother is. I'm the baby. I'm the baby. So My
Mm-hmm.
brother, for some reason, even though he's my older brother, who I'm supposed to look up to and supposed to be my protector, has been nothing but a horror to me. And so he's been jealous of me all my life, from saying that I got everything I wanted, which is not true. I was just a good kid and I worked for it,
Mm-hmm.
versus saying I'm going to go to college. I did, graduated, saying I'm going to move to California. I did, saying I'm going to take care of myself. I did, saying I'm open a business. I did. So he's just unfortunately jealous of my success.
So you kept your word to yourself and they didn't, and then
Yes.
they look at you and uh, think that you're a privileged person. But let's not forget, privileged persons do something that you are not doing, which is they are takers.
Oh,
And
all of it.
you are an earner. You are earning your way to success and have earned your way. And so they're misinterpreting it for their own benefit. They want, people want to see you the way they want to see you. And sometimes it has very little to do with you, as you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Anybody can see you through whatever lens. So, one of the challenges, thank you for reminding me, is to correct your lens of perception on on the road ahead of you, and know that there will be people who will try to take you down. There will be people who will want to sabotage you. There will be people who are naysayers and let you know that there's no way that you can do something like that, or you're even stupid for trying,
Mm-hmm.
or that you're an idealist or whatever. So, those are more of those emotional challenges that I started talking about that we have to keep in mind, because we can't let other people's sabotaging attempts thwart us from what we truly want. And I assume that this is not the main goal that you have, but this is something else on your plate. Is that right?
Yeah. No, this is just one of several things that's going on right now.
Okay.
But yeah. So, but this, like I said, I have like three very important things. That's one of them that's going on at the same time. So I am excited to at least maybe one, two of them to finally close and get off my plate. But yeah, this one is just more emotional,
Yes.
emotional baggage that I'm ready
Yes.
to release.
Yes. And without revealing your goal, because I know you want to keep it sort of under your vest for now. What category of challenges are coming up around that one?
This one here in the granola in my hometown. I mean,
In the one that you're passionate about, your
oh,
vision.
passionate about. Um, the thing right now, I think for me, that it is getting this other stuff off the plate so I can focus on my passion.
Aha.
That's
Okay.
I just feel overwhelmed because when I try to start focusing on the passion, I get
Mm-hmm.
overwhelmed with current situations.
And it's so important. There was this book out called Eat the Frog Early, or I don't remember the title, but never even read the book, but the point of the book was to get out of the way unpleasant things to make room for what you really want to do. And so this is just this unpleasant thing. Like I hate it when I go into my office and I see things that have to be attended to and registered, like I've got to renew my driver's license, what a
Mm-hmm.
pain. I've got to renew my passport, what a pain, all these things. But it's good that you don't let them lie there for too long, because they become kind of like a boulder on your shoulder,
Mm-hmm.
okay?
Right.
And then it doesn't allow for you to freely do what you want to do. So that's another thing. Challenges. Don't let procrastination um, eat up your journey. Because if you procrastinate
Right.
too long, you lose the energy, right? You
Yep.
lose the incentive, and then you stop climbing the mountain,
Mm-hmm.
and you get bogged down into all the trivial stuff that needs to be attended to.
Yeah. I agree. I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. So other challenges that have been coming up, what other categories of challenges are you facing?
I'll answer that, but when you do, we have a question in the chat room and we have a caller. But
Oh,
um,
that's awesome. Okay, so let's take the caller
perfect. All right.
and then we'll take the question.
All right.
Okay,
Here
so
you go.
thank you so much for calling in. I love conversations, so really appreciate it.
Hi, Dr. Judy.
Hi.
Hello. I was just calling in about your show on overcoming challenges, and I was wanting to get some support in the challenge of a mature marriage. How do we go into it to kind of preemptively avoid the conflicts that will come up with adult children and grandchildren? And because I do have an expectation of that my husband will have my back, but he has adult children already. So I'm just wondering, how do I navigate this?
Okay, so what's your circumstance? Could you just describe? You have a husband, yes?
Well, I'm dating somebody and I would agree to marriage. We're both conservative Jews. His daughter is very Orthodox. I'm concerned that it won't be a happy place for me if I don't have some assurance that I'm going to be treated respectfully and with kindness.
Okay, are you the person that called in a week or two ago?
Yes, I am.
So you have somebody that
I've read. Yes, I have, and we've been discussing the possibility of a marriage without courtship. We've known each other for decades. Just
oh,
going into an arranged marriage. Yes.
oh my goodness. Okay, so since we've spoken, you found somebody
Hmm.
that you're willing to take seriously, yes?
Yes, I have taken him seriously for years, except now I'm open to the possibility that this could be uh, God's will, actually. Now, this week we've been discussing it, that this perhaps has been God's will, and we're ready to address this concern that's always been there from my part.
Is he concerned about it?
No, I am.
He's not concerned about it?
No, no, he's not.
Okay. So is your concern that his son won't think that you're religious enough for the family, or what is it?
Yes, his daughter, and she has a lovely husband and many children, and they're grown now. So but yeah, I would think they would have a problem with my not being Orthodox, and also the fact that their mother was amazing. I knew their mother. She was an amazing woman. She passed like 30 years ago.
Okay. Okay, so he's got a daughter and a son, yes?
Yes.
And they're both Orthodox.
Uh, the son is conservative, like daddy, but the daughter, who he's very close to, is Orthodox, very Orthodox.
And what do you think? What can happen? What's your worst fear?
My concern is that I've had a number of friends over the years when they become widowed and remarried, sometimes they're treated terribly. And the husband is not showing up because he feels for his children, right? He feels for them. They don't really want this other marriage. I've seen it so often in
And I've
second
seen
marriages
it
that
too. It
where
is, it, yeah, yes,
oh,
it's true that could happen. But being that I am Jewish, I know a little bit about the Jewish religion, and I know enough Orthodox people in my family to know some of the laws. And one of the things that the Torah talks about is how important it is to put your spouse first. So the main thing that you have to know is that your husband has your back.
yeah, I do. And I'm just not sure that I see that right now.
Okay, so you have to have a discussion with him and make sure that he's going to have your back. That doesn't mean that he throws his children under the bus, but that does mean,
Oh, no. Oh, God.
right, but
My.
that does mean that he's going to have to require his children to have a certain level of respect for you. And if you don't fit the exact mold of their lifestyle, then they're going to happen. Either you're not going to see each other as much as you'd like. Um, are they flat out saying that you're not welcome, or what is their position on?
No, not at all. It's me. They're lovely children, and they're parented very, very well. I'm
Mhm.
just, it's me. I'm concerned because I've heard it so often, and I don't mean, actually, I haven't heard it in Judaism. I heard it more from my Christian friends. And
Right, you put your spouse
Yeah,
first. You put, whether it's your first spouse or your second spouse, it doesn't matter. The person you are married to, they are your sole person. They're your other half. And your obligation is to make sure that you protect them and at the same time respect your children. So, sometimes it looks like just a firm boundary of, okay, we see differently here. And, because we see differently, we're going to do things a little bit differently, but we're still going to keep the peace, and the family um, might shift around a little bit, but you still keep the peace.
I think there is a shifting period that one needs to expect. I've been holding out trying to find the ideal situation. It doesn't exist, it doesn't. So I've been willing to be open minded and rethink, this man that I do love and I know and I respect. And it's a slightly formidable situation because he is from a powerful family.
In an ideal world, it's nice if you're in, your daughter, future daughter-in-law or stepdaughter-in-law, son-in-law, takes an interest in you and makes the pathway less challenging for your father, for their father, because if they truly love their father, they want life to be as sweet as possible for him, right?
Yes, they love him. He's a mensch, and they are lovely children. I
So
just think that I don't know why they're a little bit standoffish.
well, okay, think about it from their perspective. You're not their mother, right? And now
No, and she was amazing.
she was amazing. She was so all these feelings, we're talking about challenges to your marriage. Thank you for that, great example. So you have a challenge, and the challenge is, will your husband have your back? You have the challenge of being up against a mother who was amazing, and you even knew her and saw how amazing she was. And
Yes,
so,
she was.
right, and okay, and so don't expect the children obviously to put you in the same league. I'm
Oh
not.
God, no.
Oh God, no. Okay. Uh, but let's talk about realistic expectations. Do you expect them to make you feel comfortable?
I do.
Do you expect them to invite you for holidays?
I would expect to be included. If my husband was included, I would expect to be included. And I've had so many friends that have been told, you will not come and daddy's going to come for dinner. No, no, no. I don't like that at all. Even on high holidays. I just don't think that's acceptable.
Okay,
Like,
so this.
oh, yeah, I mean, occasional lunches and dinners, but not high holidays. No.
Yeah, I mean, there's certain events that I think are really important. Some of them, the high holidays are important. Some of the American holidays, let's call them,
Yes.
New Year's and Thanksgiving, right? And I think birthdays are important
Mhm.
and that kind of thing. So I think those are things that ideally, right, should be celebrated as a family. Do you agree?
Ideally.
Ideally. Okay. And if they want private time with their father and they don't want to include you, then they should also make it a point to include you at another occasion.
I think that's a great, idea. Yeah, I think that's good. I would be very happy with that.
I just don't want your feelings to be hurt. That's it. And I think that your
See,
husband,
that's what I'm concerned about. And I don't want to lose respect for my husband. We must respect our husband. I find it hard to respect people who behave in a way towards their wife or their husband that's so cold and mean. Hmm.
okay, so this is a challenge because not everybody is going to like everybody, but I think, your basic foundation is some level of warmth. Yes?
Yes. Decency and respect. I really am a big believer in civility.
Okay, so I think you have to play some scenarios um, to your husband and say, what if this happens? What if that happens? How do you want to handle that? And then
Ooh,
get honest with him and say, that's going to
you're
really hurt
right.
feelings. And I don't know if I'm going to have resentment toward you because you want to respect your husband, but yet you want
I do.
your husband to cherish you.
Yes,
Makes
I do.
Okay, so he's got to
Yeah.
cherish you and protect your feelings. And if the kids say, "Oh, I'm sorry, this is our special occasion, and we're not going to do a birthday with her. She's not our mother, or we don't like her as much as," like, how would you feel about that?
I think it's unacceptable, honestly. Like, just because of my level of maturity, I would find that unacceptable from adult children.
Okay, so if your adult uh, children made a birthday for their dad and didn't include you.
Well, my husband's deceased, so let's just say my daughter didn't
I'm talking
accept
about your new
my new.
situation.
Oh,
So
oh, the new one. Okay.
I'm saying if your new son-in-law, stepson-in-law said, Dad, it's your birthday. I want to celebrate your birthday, but I don't really want your wife to come. I want to do it as a family.
I would have a problem with it if the whole family was there except me. But if they were just the two of them out for lunch, that's fine. But if they said specifically, this woman cannot be here, your wife is not welcome, I would have the expectation, and he would say that is not acceptable. When you know are no longer off toit, you can I'll be talking to you.
So that's what I mean. I want you to go through these scenarios, and I happen
Yeah,
to, as a
I
human, I happen to agree that if there's a family event, you are now the spouse, okay? And
that's it. Yeah.
you are family, and you need to be treated as such. And family does not exclude family. That's my
Yes.
philosophy, okay?
Yes. Yeah.
And so see what your future, hopefully future husband's philosophy is. You've got to get that discussed.
We'll see. Yes, we do. We definitely do.
Okay, so I want you as your challenge to meet your future challenge is to have these dirty, by dirty I mean uncomfortable, okay? Conversations, and they would be what if scenarios. What if this? What if that? What if it was my birthday and they didn't really want to come and celebrate my birthday? How would you feel?
I'm going to talk to him tomorrow. It's really important to me. And I am a little nervous. I'm not sure what his reaction will be.
Okay, well, don't give up on him, but just explain it that that you're now wanting to be an inclusionary part of the family. And if the children don't want to include you, then it's up to your husband to create events that will make up for or include you or find a solution or just be honest. Look, my children are not wanting to celebrate a family event with you. Unfortunately, what do you want me to do about it? So what would you want him to do about it? Let's say his son or daughter says, you know, Dad, it's your birthday and we want to make a party and we want you to come, but we don't really want your wife to be there because it's our family. What would you do? Well, how would you feel, first of all?
I would feel very vulnerable and I would be concerned because for me, I couldn't respect a man who submitted to the bullying of his own adult children. So I really need to know the character of my husband before I marry him.
Okay, so that's your answer. Okay. So
It
if
is. Thank you
children
so
are,
much.
you're welcome. If they're bullying him, because they have to understand that, you know, that's their father's wife. She is family. And any answer like, wait a minute, it's my family, I have a right to invite only my family, is unacceptable because who are you?
Yeah,
Right? Once you marry him,
exactly.
are you not
Yeah, the
family?
wife, right?
Yes.
Exactly.
That's how I see it. Like, I'm not the authority on the world here, but once you marry him, you are family, and therefore you need to be included in family occasions. And if
I
the
agree.
and if the kids try to convince him, wait, she's not family, she's just your wife, and he's going along with that, then he doesn't have your back.
I agree.
Okay,
It's
does
just
that make
dishonest.
sense to you? Pardon
Yeah,
me?
yeah, it's dishonest. And I I have been dishonest in the week of just pondering his invitation to marriage. I was afraid to bring it up to him. And in that withholding, I really do need to speak to him right away.
You know, if you're afraid to bring it up to him, that's one level of fear. But imagine being married to him and having it actually
Oh
come up.
no.
Okay.
Oh,
So I'm
it'd be
saying
horrible. It would be just
compare the
horrible. Yeah.
fear. Compare the fear. Get it? One is a fear of
Yeah. Yes.
leaving, and then the other is a fear of feeling entrapped and disrespected and not honored and not included. That's a terrible feeling. You know, me personally, as a person that's interested in healing human disconnect, I love inclusion.
Yeah.
And, you know, I have felt it,
Yes.
personally felt it from my own family, a
Yes.
sense of exclusion. And it doesn't sit
Yes.
well with me, okay?
No.
All right, it doesn't sit well with me. As it should, in my opinion, as it shouldn't. Why should it sit well with
No,
me?
it shouldn't. It's
Right.
it's very shocking behavior. But what's happened now that I spoke to you, Dr. Judy, is I'm not afraid now because you've given me plan A, plan B, plan C, and D. There's 4 plans I heard you say. When I talk to him, I can say, you know, plan A, ideally B, we could, you know, if they don't want me there, we could do something else. Like there has to be like it wasn't black and white. That's what I
Right.
needed to come to a correct lens to
Yep.
perceive it through.
Yep. And don't lie to yourself. It's if it's going to bother you now, in theory, it's really going to bother you in practice, I assure you.
You're right. You're right. I was lying to myself in part. Yeah.
Okay, so don't, you know, don't try to swallow things that you think you're going to spit out later. How's that for
Yes, you're right.
philosophical
It's
wisdom?
really good. It's really good. Thank you. It's true. I have really tried to mold and shape myself. And when I last spoke to you, you told me one thing. You said, it was just rocked my world. You said, make a commitment to absolutely adhering to all of your religious commitments. And yes, I want to be treated as the wife with respect and dignity. And that I knew then I would have to discuss this, you know?
Yeah, and I'm a firm believer that once you enter a family, then it's not you against the family, it's you are family. Does that make sense? Don't draw that
Yes,
distinction.
I wonder if there's something I could be reading on the very subject of entering into a family system, because I'm entering into a long set family system, you know?
Yes, and they may be not skilled at including you, but then that's your husband's job. It's the person's job who you're most connected to make the
I
path
know, but
that
men aren't good
connection.
at it.
Okay.
Men
The
are so
person
not good
that,
at this.
whether it's your son, your daughter, your husband, your wife, it's the person that you're connected to say to their children or to say to their spouse or to say to whoever's in the family, looky here, I'm sorry, this is my wife, this is my husband, this is my mother, this is my father. I'm sorry, we're not drawing a line between your family and my family. We're all family.
Wow. I hope he is just that kind of a king that can stand in integrity and alignment, you know? I guess more will be revealed.
More will be revealed.
I don't
And
know.
if you can't, I'm
Yeah,
going to make a
yeah.
suggestion. If you can't navigate it in a conversation, feel free to call me and maybe we can have one session where we clarify the rules and the roles and the expectations and the boundaries within the marriage that you're going to enter, kind of like a premarital consultation.
That's a wonderful idea. That is a wonderful idea. I
So,
love
and
that.
I happen to be
Thank
Jewish,
you.
I happen to know a lot about the Jewish religion, so that might
It's
be
so rich and so good, and it's so important, you know? I that's that he will love that too. I know he will.
okay. So it is a challenge. Don't let the challenge blow apart your future relationship, but just know that you're gonna so here, this is the takeaway to everybody who can't exactly relate to what this conversation was, because this is specific. When you meet a challenge, make sure that you see what's coming down the road in the future and make sure you have a plan in place for it. Okay? So whether it be a marriage and children or a future partnership in a business or anything, right? You have to kind of conjure up the things that could stand in your way and ruin it. And then have an open, honest conversation so that you become proactive. So the takeaway here is if you have anything that you're afraid of that's going to challenge you, be proactive and bring it right up to the surface at the beginning. And sometimes you don't know until it's happened. I've had challenges, heavy challenges that I didn't exactly handle very well because I lost my cool. Okay. Not a good thing for a psychologist to do, but I did. And I sometimes I see these things as, how I talk about don't implode, which is holding it in, don't explode, but unload. But if people are not willing to talk about things, then I will have a tendency to eventually explode because I don't do well with a muzzle on my mouth. Does that make sense to you?
Me too. Me too. Yes. Very
So
much.
if you have family members that are not willing to talk, then unfortunately you have to just get along with them and be cordial, and that'll have to be good enough because after all, uh, there are other important relationships and ties at stake here, and sometimes you just have to do your best and be cordial.
Thank you. I can do this. I really needed this help. And now everything is quite clear and organized in my mind, what I need to do. Thank you, Dr.
You're
Judy.
so welcome, and I'm so happy for you. So since the last time
Thank
we
you. Me
both
too.
found somebody
I'm
that
so happy.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm delighted for you. Congratulations.
Yes.
You're
Thank
up in
you.
Canada,
Thank
aren't
you.
you? Aren't you up in Canada?
Yes. 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 We would be moving to Toronto if we do decide to marry. Yes.
Oh my goodness. And where are you now?
I'm in the Manitoba area.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So, and you're okay with moving and all that?
I don't love Toronto, but I do love this man. So again, that's something else we'd have to discuss.
So geez, this is my last word for now on the matter. If you're willing to move all the way to Toronto, then he better put the red carpet out and include that
Oh, thank
he's gonna
you.
be
You're
part of
right.
the red
Actually, you're
carpet
right.
service and be very, very happy that he has a woman who adores him and is going to take care of him, and you're going to take care of each other, and that deserves all the honor and respect in the world. Okay?
Thank you so much. Thank you, Dr.
You're
Judy.
welcome, and congratulations. I truly hope that this works out, and do open your mouth big time. Okay?
I will. Bless you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Take care. Okay, so audience, even though this particular challenge may not exactly apply to you, you could see that you have to be proactive. If you think something's going to go wrong, open your mouth and have the conversation. And by the way, you can use my Peaceful Healing Dialogue, which is in my book, and that you can get on Amazon.com, or you can download it from my website. You can have the PDF version, but I think it's always nice to have the actual book in your hand, and then you can outline it and put little circles under words that you want to remember, and so on and so forth. And I know we had a question in the chat room. Yes?
Yeah, it's very similar, but I'll ask it here. It says, what if one of your challenges is a partner that you live with, whether he doesn't bring up my negative core beliefs, but there's a lot of criticizing?
So wait, let me wrap my head around this. So there's a partner, you live with a partner, right? And he's very critical,
Very critical. Says
but
doesn't
doesn't
he doesn't bring up
exactly.
my negative core beliefs, but there's a lot of criticism.
Okay, so it's good that he doesn't bring up your negative core beliefs, because maybe you've healed them and you're not buying into the criticism, which would make it easier for you to set boundaries and just say, knock it off. Now, if you had activation of your negative core belief system, then you would buy into it and feel belittled by it. That's the difference. One is, hey, come on, knock it off. Okay, so in other words, if you think that you're stupid and I call you stupid, there's a big difference between if you don't think you're stupid and I call you stupid, you're just going to say, knock it off, like stop it, stop insulting me. In the other scenario, you might say, yeah, maybe I am stupid. Maybe she's right. Now I'm feeling bad about myself. And, maybe she unfortunately noticed just how stupid I am. You see the difference? You there?
Oh, I'm here. No, yes, I thought you were just saying, do you see the difference?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
I see the difference for sure.
See the difference. So there's nothing wrong with saying to your partner, look, when you say that, it's a real disconnect. I don't know why you need to do that. If there's something that you don't like, why don't you just tell me and we can discuss it like two grown people? And if there's something that I have to self-correct on, or we have to shift something in the relationship, I'm totally willing to do it, but I'm not going to respond to criticism and change just because you're criticizing me. It's not a good way.
I totally agree with that, Dr. Judy. I totally agree with that.
Right, because criticism only pushes people into panel 5. And if you put up my original mind map, panel 5 is defense mechanisms. So, you criticize and then the other person defends, and nothing goes through. There's no evolution. It's just going to end up in panel 6, which is a clash of the isms. See that? Criticism will result in clash. Peaceful healing dialogue will result in honesty, boundaries, airing your differences, coming up with new solutions. It's generative. The criticism is degenerative. See that? That's very important to remember.
The old saying of put up your dukes, panel 5.
Okay, so I think we're near the end, and thank you so much for calling in. I really appreciate that. That was a great discussion, and the importance of being proactive in meeting your challenges is hopefully what people will take away from this, and knowing that there are psychological challenges, financial challenges, physical challenges, all kinds of challenges. But when you have that vision, then you get through it because the vision becomes more important than the challenges. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. I'll see you next time. Good night, everyone.